Harvey to try and create all sorts of havoc here in the furnace, and this is Lish, the player of the month, gets the game underway. Brad Robbins in the corner, he'll back it in to Leon. Now out tonight, the big fella to start the game with a little jumper, and it doesn't go. It'll be a Blaze ball.
Well, an interesting offensive set there as they look to try to post up Brad Robbins down low. He's a feisty, very solid player, and there's a huge error as I speak, Lockie, with Gold Coast inbounding it basically out of bounds.
Yeah, it was very ordinary. The pressure from Robbins last week in the fourth quarter was some of the best basketball I've seen from a point guard. I know he doesn't score big points and he doesn't have all the handles of point guards, but his intensity is unbelievable. As Redditch goes for the fadeaway up against Worthington. Worthington will get his first boards of the night.
Well, DeLeon's an interesting one with the ball here. Very, very quick, very small, and fouled on the way to the hoop, but he's just come in. He had 1 of 6 performance in his debut in about 13 minutes of court time, so he is an unknown quantity at this point.
Like to see that. Obviously, he didn't get a lot of time in his first game, but because of a small break, he's had time to settle into their offense. And interesting that they've thrown him straight into the starting lineup.
It is. We didn't anticipate that as we see him go to the line and shoot 2. But I think the bye last week has obviously allowed Joey Wright to see enough to get him out there on the floor as a starter.
There's not many basketball players that are smaller than me, but he is, Jeff, just.
There's not a lot of him. Street ball legend out of New York, they tell me, and he's on the board.
So he is on the board, and so are the Blaze. They're one, the Wildcats yet to score. Knight sets a great screen to Leon, and Robbins has been doing this a lot, just drives straight to the basket and draws the foul on Mark Worthington, an early one for him.
I think if you can get your point guard deeply embedded into the offensive end, as we see Robbins here on this play. Look where he is. I mean, he's taking this shot from 2 feet. He's a tough little, driver of the ball. So that's 3 points, really, if you can draw the foul there. If you hit the free throw.
If you hit the free throw. So Robbins misses the first. DeLeon just getting a few tips from Ray Hunt, just making sure he doesn't get called for many fouls. And Robbins drops in the second. So 1 plays 1. It was a thriller last night at the Tigers' cage. They lost to Townsville in overtime on 1. And we're hoping, Jeff, this one is just as thrilling.
Absolutely. We see the defense, just constant harassment up the floor by the Wildcats at this point, early stages.
No foul called underneath. Hudson picks up the crumbs, and then an awkward pass from Sean Redditch. Lish will just keep it in. He's Toby to the big man Knight, hustling and bustling his way with a little left hand hook shot. He drops it in for 2, 3 plays 3.
Absolute broken play there as we see a offensive foul called about 80 feet from the ball. Lachlan, those are coach killers to be that far away from the action and be called a foul.
So Hudson running back to his keyway and running straight into Matty Knight. He's called for the offensive, so the Wildcats will have the ball, and Robbins will move it into the front court. Pass to Knight. Outside the arc is Toby. Fade away from Toby. Doesn't go. Redditch will keep it in play. Always pretty good under there. Sean Redditch got great touch, and that was a nice 2-pointer.
And that's 2 broken plays by the Wildcats that have ended up in baskets. So Gold Coast players need to crack down on that.
DeLeon with 2. That'll give him plenty of confidence in this game. Given the responsibility as Robbins. Oh, great pass from Brad Robbins. Faked the shot, gave it off to Knight. He drew the foul and scored the 2.
So Knight will shoot the extra, and this is just a heads-up play as we, look at what Brad Robbins can actually do. He pulls up, he gives a great fake, and then finds, I wouldn't say wide open, but certainly a cutting Matty Knight, and just great vision.
That's 15 assists now. That's his 16th assist of the season, Brad Robbins, as Hudson sits down with a couple of fouls, and Matt Knight will try and make it a 3-point play. He does. 8 plays 5. The Wildcats lead it by 3.
And the Wildcats obviously holding a decisive size advantage, which just got a little bit more pronounced with Hudson out and Petrie in.
Here's Harvey. Leon up against Robbins, reaching in. Now he'll go for the little fadeaway, and that was very nice. The The fans will be enjoying watching his start to this game. It's now a one-point ball game. 8-7 is the score.
Well, here they go, the Blaze. That's good defense.
It is Gibson. The pass, a little awkward for Petrie. And then outside, De Leon doesn't make it. That would have absolutely brought the house down. The pressure really good from the Blaze right now. And the Wildcats just a little unsettled. Pass inside to Knight. He's looking dangerous. Matty Knight with that roll in. No, it won't. He'll get it back, though. Good pressure from Robbins. Just tapped it out of the hands of his opponents. And Knight scored another one.
Well, Brad Robbins is feeding Matthew Knight in all sorts of ways. I mean, that time it was just a deft tap over a broken play.
7 points for Matty Knight. And Mark Worthington just trying to force a play there. Trying to spark his team into a bit of action. And he lost control. It's 10-7, 3 points that margin.
Joey Wright really upset with the lack of call by the referee, but I think probably a bit upset by the lack of control as well by his team at the moment.
Here's Robbins. They did this a fair bit last week against Wollongong, and that's an offensive. They like to get him posting up on a smaller point guard because he's put on the big 12 kilograms over the pre-season tip, and he's looking like a man mountain at the moment.
He is a tank, and he feels like, as you said, he's got the size advantage, more importantly, the weight advantage down low, and that time he just didn't sort of do that subtly enough.
No, so the offensive on Brad Robbins. Cranking up the music here in the furnace. If Andrew Gaze was here, he'd be dancing his little heart out as Harvey's attack to the basket doesn't score, and there's another foul off the ball.
Lucky, that's the second foul that's nowhere near the play. It moves the Gold Coast Blaze to their 4th team foul of the quarter, which means everything from here is 3 points potentially for the Wildcats. So that's pretty undisciplined halfway through the first quarter to be putting a team in the bonus situation.
So score check, 10-7. The Wildcats lead it by 3. Matty Knight starting well. 7 points. Sean Redditch with 2 for the Wildcats. And 1 to Brad Robbins. Looking up the page, 5 to Leon, and then it's unusual for Lish to lose control of the ball. Worthington will reap the benefits and score 2.
Yeah, a great heads-up play by Adam Gibson at the halfway point of the court, just to have the awareness to not just save that in, but find a cutting player underneath the hoop. Great play.
So it's close. Exactly what we wanted on 1. Here's Lish from outside 3. Oh, he drops it in, falls to the ground, but Kevin Lish is a champ this season. 13-9, the Wildcats by 4.
Lucky, both Kevin Lish and Sean Redditch are not just in the top 5 in scoring, but also 2 of the top 5 3-point shooters in the league, and you see it there.
Gibson, right back at you. Great play from De Leon. Drove to the basket, dished it out. Gibson on the 3-point line, dropped the bomb. It's now 1 point. Redditch passes it off. Oh, De Leon jumping up and blocked the big 6'9". I'm liking the boy already. Forcing him into the front court. Bartlett on him. And he'll settle things down.
Early minutes for Bartlett, too, for a fellow that's come into the squad very late, Lockie. This is a huge opportunity for him in the absence of Damien Martin.
Harvey hasn't seen a lot of it. Petrie up against Redditch. At the top of the key. Just rock solid. Petrie with another 2, and the Blaze have taken the lead, 14-13.
Well, I think Adam Gibson got away with a push there, Lockie. Just subtle push that got Lish off, just a little off centre, and he lost the control of the ball going out of bounds. So look at the Blaze. They've made a big run here. They've composed themselves. They still have foul trouble, but to take the lead at this point will be doing them a lot of good confidence-wise.
Played 5 minutes. Kadee getting an early piece of the action. Double teams. Handed off to Gibson. He'll drive to the basket. Nice pass too. There's a little gap, but he slid the ball through. And we'll have a change, will we, or a timeout? I think we've got a timeout. So the Blaze have jumped out to a 3-point lead. They're 16. The Wildcats 13.
National Recycling Week is the 7th to the 13th of November, and BW, our recycling hero, wants to collect more used car batteries than ever before. We're going for the record. In Australia, 2,000 tonnes of automotive batteries go into landfill each year. So remember to think green and act purple in 2011. Look around the house, garage or shed for any old car, truck, boat or household batteries you may have, and take them down to your local Battery World store between November 7 and 13 to be recycled. Recycle your batteries at Battery World. Just imagine what you'll save.
Come off this. The 5 is opposite, either here or there, all right? Coming off this, all right? Kicking it back. So, Mungo, you coming off this. You can't turn it. Kick it back to this. We're going to get Neville trying to close this. You rip it and going, or kick to the corner for a shot. Got it?
So the Gold Coast plays 16, the Wildcats 13. That timeout, a lot on Luke Neville. It looks like he's coming into the game for the Wildcats and trying to expose, I suppose, a lack of pace and agility by the big man.
Yes, and the other end, they'd be talking about Neville taking it low, getting to the low post and going against their very, very undersized front line. So this is a tactical battle between the team that holds the big and the team that holds the mobility. This will be fascinating.
Here you go. Here's Bartlett. The responsibilities of running the point while Damien Martin's out. He's hoping to come back for a New Zealand game in late December. Damien Martin working hard during training as Lish has it at the top. He goes for a little jumper. Kevin Lish will drop in. He's good.
That's a shooter's touch. And, you know, Kevin Lish, I was going to say, had that not dropped, perhaps he is pushing it just a little bit. But that's how he rides his game sometimes, Lockie. He just needs to get himself going early. And from there, he gets into that rhythm.
Probably too much of a team player in the first 2 years, just settling into a system. But now I think Rob Beveridge has said, mate, you're the shooter. You go and shoot it. As Petrie is a pretty good shooter as well. That one was fouled, though, as he went for the little jumper. And he'll go to the line. Everett Bartlett with that one.
Both teams right now have had some sloppy fouls. You know, that's why the foul count between the teams is fairly high. Putting Anthony Petrie on the line when he was actually shooting an 18-foot jump shot is not a smart move. You know, just let him take that shot. I know he's okay from out there, but you don't want to just give him free points. So both coaches right now would be disappointed with the sloppiness of getting those hands in at the wrong time.
Averaging 6.5 points a game, Anthony Petrie this season. Good to see him back playing after a pretty horrific injury as well, and the second one doesn't go. Wagstaff in for the Wildcats. Tovey now with the ball. Great screen set by Jesse Wagstaff.
But look at the physicality too, Lockie. I mean, a lot of off-the-ball bumping going on here.
Here's Neville inside. Will it roll in? No, it won't. The foul will be called on him, though. The big man, as you say, would have Anthony Petrie. How tall? 6'8", 6'9"?
Yeah, well, it's either Petrie or Hoare that's on him. On that occasion, they switched Hoare onto him. But either way, he holds that large, you know, advantage down low. And as you pointed out, the Gold Coast are going to try to move him around defensively, but when he's on offense, he's going to be a handful if he goes and plays the low post. Just get down there, big fella.
2 from 2 for Luke Neville. Showed real good signs last week against Wollongong. It was a smaller lineup as well, and I think that gave him a lot of confidence, and he's just starting to settle into this lineup. There's the exposure there as Goulding shoots away. Rebound again from Wagstaff. 17 plays 17 here in the Furnace. The pass inside to the big man. Will he go again? He does. Working hard off the glass. It doesn't go. Wagstaff. Also Bartlett. Neither could trap it. And there's a foul there. Another just silly set foul underneath the basket. The Wildcats also getting themselves into a bit of trouble now.
Absolutely. But, Lockie, just wanted to go back to that last play. Rob Beveridge will live with that all night. Getting the ball in low to Neville, letting Neville take on a smaller opponent. Should have finished, but Wagstaff was there for the offensive board. They'll live with that play.
Still tied up. 17-17. Kadee looking inside, switches to Goulding. It'll come back to Kadee. Could have taken that shot. Now drives to the basket. They'll have to get it up. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Great tap in, Stephen Hoare. Came from the corner with the one hand and stretches the margin to 2, 19-17.
Doing what he does best, sneaking in, giving you some bonus points. Great play.
Wagstaff losing the handle. We keep it in play. Tovey in the corner. Air ball from him. And Petrie having a real impact defensively and on the offensive end. Kadee now to Gibson. Up against Lish. Should be a great matchup. Here's Petrie. Now Gibson in that corner. And the big man's there. He hauls down the boards.
They're living and dying by the perimeter shot the last few sets there, Lockie, and they'll want to hit some of those, otherwise Perth will feel very comfortable just sagging a little bit from them.
That shot won't go as well, so both sides shooting it from outside. It's interesting too, because the Gold Coast 11% from the three-point line this season, and they're still having a ping from outside. That one doesn't go. Hoare with the boards. Over the top was Wags, Tovey, and the rebound from Neville.
There they are again. They've fallen in love with that three-pointer, as you said, even though the statistics are not backing it up.
Lish loves the little fadeaway.
Just a great shot from the league's #1 scorer. 21 a game, and that's how he does it. Just gives you a variety. The three, the step back two, the baseline jumper. He's got a great repertoire on the offensive end.
Gibson Kadee moving the ball quickly. Great ball movement that time from Gold Coast, and that was a much better percentage shot for Petrie.
Fantastic movement, spreading the floor, not settling for the three.
Lish all the way again. He'll be called for the foul. Kadee coming in and slapping the hands. And Kevin Lish will go to the line. So 5 team fouls apiece. The Blaze lead by 2, 21-19.
Lockie, an interesting stat, and we're seeing evidence of this already. These, as we have just a quick look at this foul, there wasn't a lot in that, but when a player's up in the air and another one cuts through, they'll usually call that. But just getting back to what we're seeing on the floor offensively for both teams. Perth Wildcats, #1 team assist team in the country, 22 per game. They lead by a streak. Interestingly, the second best team, Gold Coast Blaze. And on that last occasion, you see what they're capable of at the offensive end, spreading the floor, finding the open shooter.
So Lish on the line, gets them both. And he'll have a rest now, Kevin Lish. Already 9 points to his name.
Here we go.
Some really quick rotations for both teams happening here, Lockie. Particularly on the Wildcats front as they're trying to prepare for a tough weekend. Gold Coast also swinging their players.
So Neville out to the three-point shot of Goulding. He'll be keen to take him on. He does, tucks it under the arm. And Chris Goulding lays it in off the glass.
At 7-2, it's going to be very difficult if he finds himself in an isolation situation, man-to-man, against a player with the mobility of Goulding.
So it's points for points at the moment. Here's Bartlett. Wanted to pass it off.
Wow.
Neville with the two. He was sliding out of bounds. And he still got it in, and he'll go to the line for another one.
That was just great awareness. I mean, I think it was a really sloppy pass in the end by Bartlett. And Luke Neville just found himself underneath the hoop, sliding away in a direction that he wasn't particularly impressed with, but he threw it up with a nice touch. So here's the added bonus for him. If he can knock this down, great play.
And he's shooting well from the foul line as well. 5 points for big Luke Neville. The Wildcats have taken the lead, 24-23. We're closing in on quarter time. Kadee over the top. He's an imposing figure at 7'2", Luke Neville. You've got to throw it up just that little bit higher.
You do, although they've obviously been under instructions to take him on, because a couple of times in a row they've really gone at him.
Underneath, good tap in from Drew Williamson.
Need to get him off the boards. That's not one they'd want to give up.
So the Cats have turned things around. The Blaze had a bit of a roll on. They made some changes, and now Perth have stolen back the lead. They lead by 3. Goulding falls over, trying to be a little fancy. And no foul called. And there is quarter time here in the Furnace. It's been a very, very interesting start to this game. The Wildcats lead it by 3, 26. The Blaze, 23.
Tonight.
Viva Habana!
Hook into the revolution.
This is one of the best fish I've ever caught in my angling life.
A new extreme fishing.
7:30 tonight on 1.
Bueno.
The commissioner's been shot, and his son's coming face to face with the guy that did it. Brand new Blue Bloods, 9:30 Monday on 1.
Emirates is giving you the chance to win a luxury golf experience in Dubai. You and a friend will fly in style to Dubai in Emirates award-winning business class and stay 4 nights at Atlantis The Palm. Indulge in a round of golf at Dubai Creek Golf Club. Plus experience a Dubai City Tour and Desert Safari with Arabian Adventures. To enter, simply SMS Emirates, your title, full name and postcode to 1970 0043. Enter now for your chance to win this amazing golf experience in Dubai. All thanks to Emirates.
We're looking at home loans now. They are so expensive. The banks just see it as a number.
Mate, have a chat to Rams. You see, their home loan experts are all locals from your community, and they've always kept their standard variable rate lower than the big 4 banks. So you know it's a great deal.
Really?
That's the naked truth.
Low rates, local experts. Call 13-RAMS or jump online. Rams, simply better.
Want the hottest deal going around? Then get into TeleChoice and grab the awesome Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc for $0 upfront on the Virgin Big Plan 29. With a whopping $450 cap credit, access to over 250,000 apps, the latest Android 2.3, 16 gig memory, 8 megapixel camera, GPS navigation, 250 meg of data, and unlimited mobile text and talk to other members, all for $29 a month. That is one hot deal. TeleChoice, the people's choice.
No fighting yet as the Blaze and the Wildcats go at it in the furnace. And the Wildcats leading by 3. De Leon back on the court. What a bright start from him. 5 points in that first quarter. He looks the goods. Now drives to the basket, dishes it off. Worthington, great little assist.
I think we're seeing what De Leon's capable of off that first step. Very, very quick blew by his player.
So Kevin Lish now in charge of his team at the point. The pass inside, that was a good one. Neville was slow to get the shot up. Now he's double teamed. He just forces his way through. Wagstaff tried to tap it back in. The Blaze with the boards. Here he goes. Leon, beautiful pass again. Racking up the assists, the little man.
Yeah, De Leon is really starting to feel good about this game. You can just see the confidence growing.
Redditch three-pointer. Rattles around the hoop. There'll be a change. Luke Neville sitting down, and the man who kick-started the Wildcats first quarter in Matt Knight returns.
Just getting back to De Leon, we talked about, him starting the game. Well, we're probably seeing what Joey Wright's seen for the last 2 weeks since their last game. I mean, really impressive beginning for a player who's just playing his second game in the league.
Secret weapon for the Blaze. As Harvey drives to the basket, there's a little reach in from Drew Williamson. And there'll be a foul. And that's a little trick, isn't it, De Leon? We didn't see much of him in his first game, and they wouldn't be having scouts sitting in the training session, so it's sort of a bit of the unknown for Rob Beveridge and his Wildcats.
It is, and it's always the case with a guard, because they have a lot of the ball, so you'll either live or die by their performance, and tonight, Gold Coast is definitely alive with this performance to this point.
Leon's three-pointer was courageous as Worthington works his way through and drops it in. It bobbled around and then decided to go in. The Blaze 29, the Wildcats 26, and Wortho will go to the line for another one.
When we look at the replay here, it was a shot that fell substantially short, and Redditch really had his hands on the ball, but that's just an effort play by Mark Worthington to wrench it out, take it up, and he got the courtesy of the roll, and referee Tony Caldwell said, have another one.
He's doing his bit for Movember, it seems. Wortho. The pressure good from Harvey, and their aggression is good as Harvey lays in another one. They're on a bit of a roll now. 7 straight points for Gold Coast, and Rob Beveridge has seen enough. Calls the timeout early in their second quarter. The Blaze 32, the Wildcats just 26.
Too bland. Too frozen. Perfect. With its freshly prepared chicken, choosing KFC's pack for 2 is a no-brainer. Sharing 2 burger combos plus wicked wings is so good.
Vodafone Prepaid gives you infinite text anytime to any Aussie network when in Australia on our new prepaid $30 cap. So it's playtime, anytime. Power to you. Vodafone.
In the penetration right now, okay? No cheap fouls. Get them off the foul line here. Let's run some corner. Get some movement. all the way through. Go off the head. If that's denied, they're denying you. Back cut it. Yep. Okay, you guys got to screen. Screen.
Look, if I got Harvey on me, I'm coming through. Let me post up.
Hey, if they switch it, we're going inside. 3, 2, 1. Come on, boys. Stay with it.
Mark Worthington with 7 points for the game. 5 points in this quarter. Harvey with 2 and De Leon with 2. 9 points this quarter to the Blaze. The Wildcats yet to score in a minute and a half of basketball. That is the perfect start for Joey Wright and his men.
Absolutely. Rob Beveridge is a very task-focused coach at timeouts, but one thing that I think he could have said is, fellas, you're being beaten on the effort plays right now. That is a substantial factor here for the Blaze.
And their press is working well, the Blaze too, and a big swat away from Wortho. Looking that little more angrier with the mo happening.
Well, they're getting plenty from Mark Worthington this quarter, as you pointed out, offensively and defensively on that play.
The pass to Wagstaff to Williamson underneath the hoop. Can't make it go, and good hands from De Leon, just tapping it away from Matt Knight. And a reset for the Wildcats, 32-26. And just working out whether the shot clock is reset, whether it hit the ring or not.
De Leon, Drew Williamson also trying to milk a foul in there. You've got to make that fella.
Williamson must start hitting the three-point bomb. He doesn't that time. Harvey wasn't watching. He was running, hoping for a big alley-oop slam dunk, but he was the one actually receiving the pass to set up the alley-oop. So turnover, a costly one for the Blaze. The Wildcats, Jeff, still yet to score in this quarter.
Yeah, very, very unusual for a good offensive team such as Perth to go through this type of drought. You know, some 4 minutes on, still looking for a point.
The pass inside was a good one to Wagstaff, was a little strong.
I think we can successfully, or certainly say with confidence, that's not the scoring end just at the moment.
And a travel for Hudson. Good pressure from Matt Knight. I really like the Blazers' press. They're putting a lot of press on the ball carrier, and the double teaming is really just worrying Perth without Damien Martin in this lineup.
They're giving Perth a taste of what Perth normally gives everyone else. Tough pressure, doubling the ball, making the decisions be made by the ball carriers.
And that'd be goaltending, I think it will be, by Worthington. I'm loving the side of him at the moment. He's aggressive, he's jumping around, very athletic. The 2 points will count for Matt Knight. That's the first for the Wildcats in this term.
Well, let's just see how Perth readjust with their floor leader of the moment, Brad Robbins, on the court. I think they'll just gain a little composure now.
Leon backs away from Robbins, then passes, fancy pass from the Leon. I thought he was shooting, and then all of a sudden it just dropped into the hands of Worthington. Love to see the replay of that one.
Here we go.
Well, Lockie, Andrews De Leon did a very, very good job of making a great decision while he was in the air. A lot of coaches say, try not to get in the air before you make your decision. I think this guy plays with instinct. Yes. And he decided, I'll make the decision when I'm up there, and it was a good one.
It was a beauty. Worthington misses the first. He drops the second. 5 points now, that margin. Robbins up against Hudson. The pass is good to Knight. Heislish outside, usually good. That one doesn't go. Big body from Knight allows Williamson to shoot the ball. Comes off his foot. Starting just to get a bit physical now. Worthington called for another foul. And I reckon that is just his second. I was starting to think maybe he'd had a couple more than that.
Well, that was, you know, a little unfortunate for Worthington because he's probably going to come and sit now, and he has been really, really good this quarter, but perhaps time for a break anyway. We see Gibson coming back in, and we see James Harvey in there as well. So a really different lineup. A bit bigger across the front right now as well.
There's the foul there from Wortho. Just it was a, if he was playing AFL, would have been a beautiful little block. Lish outside the three. Just a bit strong for D. Lish. He'll go again. He's loving it. And he was out of court though.
What's really hurting, what potentially could hurt the Blaze right here is the offensive rebounding count for the Perth Wildcats. They're coming up with a lot of second shots. On the flip side, Perth isn't making them pay with those shots. So very interesting rebound situation at the moment offensively for Perth.
Leon from outside leaves his hand in the air and says, hello, Australia, I'm here.
He certainly is. He's really finding his rhythm.
Williamson needs to knock a shot down. He's had a couple of attempts from outside three. Great pass, Robbins. And Redditch grabs it, puts it in off the glass. They're sticking around the Wildcats.
Well, that's offensive boards once again. Offensive boards are keeping them in the game.
Here he is again. The pass good. Was that a little travel? No, said the ref. And a two-pointer for Hudson.
Adris de Leon showing it all right here, Lockie. Just really getting it done offensively.
Still a Wildcats ball. And he's inspiring his teammates at the moment. Just reckon Robbins might tighten up a little bit more now. A bit more physical stuff on him just to test him out a touch.
But I get the feeling he's so quick that if they do press him up the floor a little bit, he may break through and really find it even easier to exploit that D.
So Perth have shot plenty of three-pointers in this second term. Hardly any have gone in. In fact, I don't think any threes have gone in. The rebound good from Gibson. The pass not so good. Lish on the break. Around de Leon. Wow. Says, hey, I can do it too, Idris. 2 points for Sean Redditch.
I think that was really good refereeing. They saw that the Perth Wildcats had the advantages ahead of the ball and let it go. They could easily have called 2 fouls there on the wraparound foul. So good piece of officiating.
Stand here.
Things have tightened up just a touch now as Harvey dishes off to Petrie outside the three. He's just getting into the groove now. Petrie with a couple. The pass awkward for Redditch. Dives on the floor. Here's Knight. Lish up against Gibson to Robbins. Can he hit a three? Oh, Brad's basket was a little flat and rattled around. To Leon again. They had to foul him.
They certainly did, and they're actually going to call this unsportsmanlike, I think, unless it's just after the play with the follow.
After the play.
Yeah. We'll have another look at it in a moment, but de Leon's causing him serious havoc defensively, Lockie, to try to keep up. We see it here. De Leon is just simply too quick. He breaks the ankle of Kevin Lish, who ended up in a position that none of us want to be, doing the splits, and then after the play, or perhaps, I don't think they called the unsportsmanlike on Lish. I think they've gone with...
the foul on Lish.
Has been called.
And then there's an unsportsmanlike on Williamson.
Well,
must have been something after the incident. So the Blaze can really stretch this margin with 4.5 minutes to go, 4:56 remaining before half-time. Blaze are 41, Wildcats 32.
Lockie, as de Leon steps up to shoot these free throws, let's just cast our mind back to the first quarter. We talked about the Blaze getting in early foul trouble, giving free points to the opposition. Well, for the next better part of 5 minutes, we've got a situation where the Wildcats have got to contain themselves against an absolute blowtorch, quick, to say the least, point guard. And he can really make hay, I think, with this foul situation the way it is.
He drops them both in. He's got 12 points to his name, the import for the Blaze. Shooting at 66%, 33 from the three-point line. And he's also handed off 2 assists. He's very dangerous.
And I think Joey Wright wants to know why there was perhaps not another set of free throws. I think that may be what they're checking at the moment. And referee Tony Caldwell's trying to check that out. But I think, isn't it an amazing reversal? This quarter, the aggressive team has been the Gold Coast. The matchup problems have been caused by them, and the defense, as you mentioned, hounding the ball up the floor, much like we see the Wildcats do on most occasions.
Enough. So the foul must have been before the shot. So it was just an ordinary foul. They're not in trouble at the moment. And then the extra shots. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. He is tearing the Wildcats apart. He's about 5'2", and he has scored 15 points, and we're not even at half-time. De Leon.
Well, let's call it as it is, as we see a foul at the other end. But, Lockie, let's call it as it is. There was serious questions as to why the Gold Coast Blaze went out and recruited another guard. When you've got Adam Gibson, you've got Jason Kiddee, you've got Chris Goulding in the guard rotation. Well, we're seeing it now. 15 points in the half. A big performance from De Leon.
Matty Knight with a nice jumper. That'll ease the tension a little bit for the Wildcats. Still 12 points to margin. Brad Robbins won't be liking this. There'll be steam coming out of his ears soon. In fact, Damien Martin will be watching at home and there'll be steam coming out of his ears as well as Petrie tried to force the basket. This is where they're falling down. The Cats just struggling to get it into their front court and not composed when they do get it into the front court as Toby has it to Redditch. Wants to go one-on-one with Petrie, dishes it out to Lish and he'll drop it in. Better basketball from the Cats. They've scored the last 5 points of this game and we'll have a timeout. 46-37 is the score. We've got about 4.5 minutes remaining before half-time. Your assessment so far?
Well, amazingly entertaining game because we've seen the best and, not, I wouldn't say worst, but some poor play from both teams. In the first quarter, the Blaze didn't look particularly engaged, and especially defensively, they had their hands in, they were sloppy, they were giving away fouls. Wildcats sat in the bonus for half the quarter, and it was pretty ugly, to be really honest, for the Blaze. This quarter, they have turned on the defensive machine, as well as putting some faith in the hands of Adris de Leon, who has lit the court up with an amazing offensive performance. So it's really been a tale of two very distinct periods to this point. The one thing that has kept Perth somewhat in the vicinity of this game is Kevin Lish's shooting and is the offensive rebounding of the Perth Wildcats. That is giving them second and third opportunities. But other than that, the Wildcats have looked superb this quarter. Excuse me, the Blaze have looked the superb team this quarter.
46-37. De Leon with 15 points, Petrie with 10, Worthington with 8. And then a good spread amongst the others. Gibson with 3, Hudson with 4. Down at the Wildcats' end, Kevin Lish is leading the way, as you said. 12 points from him, 66% from the field and 50% from the three-point line. And Sean Redditch a little bit quiet with 6 points. Matty Knight started well. He had 7 in the first quarter, but hasn't seen a lot of it in this second term.
And under normal circumstances, Lockie, the Wildcats don't mind an up-and-down racing type game. But on this occasion, I don't think they want to get into this because that man, Adris de Leon, has scorched them. 15 points, assists all over the place. He's looked very, very good. So I don't think they want to get into this sort of track meet situation with this team.
Here he is again, wants the screen set. A good pressure from Redditch, force him to half court. Garlick's on the court for the Blaze. Gibson's shot is a little long and Lish will haul down the boards. The pass to Robbins, wants to pass it inside. Mismatch there. De Leon had no chance against the Nightmare and Matty Knight dropped it in off the glass. 7 points now. Great move, Petrie. The basket didn't go. Wow. That was going on the highlights, no doubt about it. That was beautiful.
It might sneak in there anyway. It was a real good move.
We'll just stop it before it goes to the basket, but just show the move. And there's a bit of angst underneath the basket.
Well, Adam Gibson getting severely scolded a la the classroom for having a bit much to say. But very, very interestingly, Lucky, as we've been talking up the Blaze on offense, the Perth Wildcats have now got a chance to really just reel this thing in, get a few good shots up, find your players. I think they'll go to Neville down low and, you know, really try to exploit that matchup.
So Gibson was just warned a little bit. The foul was on Tom Garland. Robbins, Toby, they want to get it to this man. It's been stolen from him. Pass to Goulding. Up he goes with the jam.
What a great heads-up play again by Adris de Leon, just picking the pocket of the Wildcats offense.
He's called for the foul on that one. Rob Beveridge just wondering how good this kid can get.
Yeah, well, he hopes not a lot better because they're having trouble containing him so far. If he's any better than this, it'll be an absolute nightmare. And we see the Blaze now creeping into foul-prone territory, so both teams will be shooting free throws with any ensuing fouls.
It's 9 points to margin. The double team was there. Redditch will take the three. He doesn't get it. Neville, well played, Luke Neville. Just too tall, put his big arms up, grabbed the rebound and was aggressive towards the basket, drew the foul.
Although this shot didn't look particularly good by Sean Redditch out at the three-point line, Luke Neville bailed him out by great body positioning, helps being 7-2, but rebounding's all about where the ball's obviously going to go. He realised it was a long shot. He thought it was coming off over to the right angle, and really no one can get to him if he's in the right position. He's way too big for Steve Hoare. He's way too big for Worthington or Petrie. So this is the one bright spot so far. Besides the shooting of Lish, it's the ability for Luke Neville to cause them problems down low.
Neville drops the first and drops the second. For a big man, he can shoot some free throws.
Touch.
That's a great little style he's got. So 7 points still that margin. Perth need to just trim it as we head into half-time to stay in this game. Wouldn't want it in double figures as Gibson passes to Goulding. That's a nice, easy shot for him. Usually he makes them, but once again, Neville tapping it down towards Redditch.
You can see the pressure by the Blazers just off a little bit on what it was, and that's the foul count coming into play. So this gives the Wildcats the freedom to run their offense a little bit more controlled.
Oh, Neville from outside. Oh, yes! The big man can do it inside and out.
Well, what great touch. You mentioned his free throw shooting, 5 of 5 from the line, and then he just steps out to about 17 feet. So that's no problem for me. I've got this one covered.
Yeah. All about confidence to Leon. He takes it all the way again. No help then, and Robin's not happy with his teammates. Good screen set from Lish. He'll try and bomb it. No, he won't. Gibson had his covered. Now he'll take it all the way to the hoop, and he gets absolutely smashed by Anthony Petrie.
Anthony Petrie feeling like he didn't foul, but we'll have a look at this here as we see Lish coming down. The ability to, as we see the foul, not much in it.
Petrie. I think Worthington more than Petrie, and probably wasn't even him as well.
Not much in it, but the ability for Lish to either go left or right as he goes down the middle of the lane was what bailed him out there and caused that contact, if we can call it that. So just staying in the game, Lockie, by virtue of their free throws right now. 10 of 11, now 11 of 12 from the floor. Outstanding effort between that and Luke Neville. It's kept him within a shout.
5 points is the margin. What is this man going to do? They spread the court. He'll go for the three this time. My goodness me! That is awesome as Robbins tries to make a big play under the basket with the reverse layup. The pass was good, but Goulding couldn't hang on. The fans are in awe at the moment. Just looking around, they can't believe how good this kid has been. De Leon now with 20 points in this first half. Last night, Gill, 30 points, 27 in the second half. We've got another little point guard causing all sorts of mayhem.
And game one for De Leon, don't forget, 13 minutes, 1 of 6, and the scouting was maybe not a great scorer. Well, not tonight.
Here's Big Neville underneath the basket. They've gone to him again. That was nice work. As you say, sticking around, 6 points still that margin. Worthington, oh, that was too easy. Good defence, though, from Neville in the end. Petrie couldn't make the layup. Play on, says the ref. Redditch was covered. Bartlett from outside. Gave it a good arc. Gibson will take the board. So time ticking away to half-time. It's been a beauty of a first half on one. Give it to the man. Give it to him, Anthony. Oh, no, he's going to go himself. And that's just as good. I'll take that.
Well, you know, the Blaze are playing somewhat freelance, but it's working for them right now. They're keying off De Leon, and it's really starting to flow offensively. 55 points in the half thus far. Huge.
55-47. The Wildcats should have the last play of this half. Lish will almost certainly have the play. From outside three, Kevin Lish doesn't go. Neville there in the right position. Another 2 for him. And he has got 11 points for this half as well. Gibson doesn't make it. What a first half of basketball we have